shadows enough for the likes of you.
See him! On that platform!
It seems that my dear friend Luna brought me a savior, and I can see why. Someone that's as brave and strong as you makes the perfect choice. Those hunters might return at any moment. Please, kindly unbind me so we can flee. Ah, the natural result of my poor survival skills. Though I cannot imagine why you believe now is the proper moment for that story. Release the bindings, please. Once we're safe, I'll tell you anything you want to know.
Can you keep up, Anton?
I could outrace you with my legs tied together.
almost to the raft.
Where on Amanos did you possibly find a raft? Just one more time you had to get me out of a jam, huh?
Don't forget that I'm keeping track. Well, so much for my raft. All that work collecting trash for only 2 trips. But we saved Anton, and that's all I really wanted. Sure, I hope we could escape to High Isle, but this'll have to do. Thank you for keeping both of us safe. We find a way to make a life on this island. From what I've heard, finding a way off is nearly impossible. Here's the payment I promised. I guess we'll probably run into each other again sometime. Amanos isn't that big, and we're all stuck here. Now that we're free from Amanos Station, Anton and I can do as we please. We weren't officially processed, so I guess we've gone rogue. Wouldn't be the first time. Maybe I'll start building another raft. Sure, the jungle is full of criminals, but they're not actively hunting us like on Whalefall. Well, some of them aren't anyway. Maybe we'll meet others who just want to survive. Seems likely. Hopefully Anton doesn't try to steal from them.
up a good fight. I paid for this.
To the grave with you! Pay no mind to the Earth's rumblings. Sign of the times, that is. Think of it as the archipelago's way to rock you to sleep. Just don't sleep under anything that may fall over on you. I mostly serve.
Didn't expect to see you again. Don't tell me you found another piece of my map. He was one of the most capable people I knew. I wouldn't have trusted just anyone, but you actually did it. I owe you for that. I'll take that map fragment off your hands. For a reward, of course. This is definitely the fragment I was looking for. At least Rod's death wasn't for nothing. I was hoping to share in the reward with him once I had them all together. Damn shame. But that's not of concern to you. Here's the gold I owed him. Unless we've got business, I've got no more time to talk. I'm not a rich man, and I got work to do. I tell you to mind your business, but you've done me a good turn. I wasn't always such an upstanding citizen. I got involved with some unscrupulous things around Port Hunding. It caught up with me, and I found myself on Amanos soon enough. I befriended another exile from Hammerfell, an old pirate who captained the Scourge of Sentinel. He terrorized the crown for years before disappearing. He told me he split a map of his treasure among his crew, but they never claimed it. The old pirate gave me his fragment before he passed to the far shores, and told me the rest of his crew were still in the Sisters. So I tried to track them down. None of them seemed to still be alive, but following their trails seems to have paid off. I already hired some others to track down the remaining fragments. I'm not willing to double deal behind their backs, but if you happen across any other fragments in your travels before they do, then that's just their bad luck. Fair? I tell you to mind your business, but you've done me a...
you return alone. I take it the news is not good. Grineer and Denise were not just retainers. They were friends. The Steadfast shall miss them, and so shall I. Please, tell me what happened. Grineer and Denise were helping arrange a banquet at Castle Navir. Then they were to collect the supplies and return here. What could they have seen that would cost them their lives? The banquet is just to welcome our royal guests to the island. The Ascendant Order, plundering Steadfast supplies and killing our retainers. Damn. It was brave of Grineer to try to fight back, but foolish. The supplies weren't worth their lives. So Lady Arabelle informed me. I hesitate to accuse anyone, but perhaps you should join me at Castle Navir. All the nobles of High Isle will be there, and if my retainers did see something at the castle, perhaps you can determine what that was. Duchess Elea of House Dufort is hosting the banquet. She's decided to go ahead and throw the party, even though our guests of honor are still missing. Go to Castle Navir's courtyard. Introduce yourself when you arrive. Be discreet, please. Duchess Elea wants to project confidence, especially in light of the current situation. Rumors travel swiftly in the archipelago. The people need to believe we have things under control. I expected to pay a ransom and have the delegates back by now. Ridiculous. No one opposes peace. It's just that some of the nobles questioned if this were the right time and place. Duchess Elea, for example, didn't want to bring the mainland's troubles to High Isle, not without hope our efforts would bear fruit. Count Leonard of House Mornard enjoys brisk profits by supplying all sides in the war. He doesn't want that to end too abruptly, especially not in a way that makes Elea and House Dufort look good. He detests that she decided to host the talks. Rivals and partners. House Mornard built its wealth on trade. They rely on House Dufort ships to carry their goods. But the two families have long vied with each other for primacy. The Mornards resent the fact that the Duforts rule High Isle. My family has always believed that wealth is meant to foster good works. When the three alliances went to war, I made the decision to do whatever I could to help common folk caught in their violent wake. So I started the Society of the Steadfast. We're not a religious organization per se, but we do take inspiration from the teachings of Stendarr. We establish healing centers and other works to show compassion and mercy to those touched by this terrible war, soldiers and commoners both. We're a small society that mostly works near the battlefields of Cyrodiil. I did turn a portion of my estate on High Isle into a healing center. We bring the badly wounded here to recuperate. The peace talks naturally grew out of our other efforts. Duchess Elea wants to project confidence, especially in light of the current situation. Rumors travel swiftly in the archipelago. Ridiculous. No one opposes peace. It's just that some of the nobles question. Count Leonard of House Mornard enjoys brisk profits by supplying all sides in the war.
It's a shame the Ascendant Order got to Lord Bacaro's retainers before you could. What could they have seen that warranted their deaths? Perhaps we'll learn more at Castle Navir, although I'm certainly not in the mood for a party. And our missing guests of honor will no doubt be the main topic of discussion. This is a chance to listen, as well as ask questions. Make sure you speak to Elea Dufort, Demar Dufort, and John Mornard. They'll be the most important nobles present. Until we know more, I suspect everybody. But if any of the nobles are funding the Ascendant Order, I think it likely that it's one of the grand families of High Isle. That means House Dufort or House Menard. Either way, we'll know more soon. Alea is the Duchess of House Dufort and nominal ruler of High Isle. Damard is her brother and a count. John Menard is the highest-ranking noble of House Menard, currently on High Isle. He's Count Leonard's cousin, representing house interests here.
heard the daughter is so distraught she's refusing to leave her rooms. So exciting.
Scandalous. No doubt Isabel is beside herself. Poor girls.
I'm supposed to keep out the riffraff. I have to admit, I'm not quite sure what to make of you. Best move along, stranger.
Might as well enjoy ourselves while we're here. Do you still prefer a Russafeld Red, my lady?
That would be delightful. Thank you, Bacaro. Introduce yourself to the nobility, my friend. And remember, even the smallest detail could be the clue we seek.
It's an honor to be invited to one of Duchess Alea's parties. I've heard she only allows members of her own family into the castle. Most people never set foot inside the walls, let alone rub shoulders with the highest nobility of High Isle.
Such a waste. I have little patience for the vanity of our noble houses on the best of days. Right now, I'm sure we all have better things we could be doing. I suspect you agree. You're the one assisting Lord Bacaro and Lady Arabelle, aren't you? I try to keep up on matters of state, but I confess, Alea told us all about you. I am Count de Mard, the Duchess's brother and court mage of House Dufort. Tell me, has your investigation uncovered news regarding a sudden storm that appeared recently? A hypothesis that matches my own. While my sister chases bandit knights across the countryside, I wonder about the druids who make the wild parts of High Isle their home. They have little love for civilized culture. They could be responsible. I don't think that storm was natural. The druids wield old magics and consort with spirits. It is well within their abilities to summon such a tempest. They mostly keep to themselves, but I suspect a ruse. Those are your culprits, mark my words. Magic is the legacy and heritage of the Breton people. Oh, I spent my time mastering the sword and knightly pursuits in my youth, but I believe that a true Breton must study both halves of our nature, and perhaps the ways of the druids, too. We Bretons trace our ancestry to Needs and Elves who intermingled during the early history of High Rock. Therefore, spellcraft is in our blood, and we all at least have some talent with magic. I find the subject fascinating and decided to embrace it. No, some have forgotten our traditions. Were it not for my talent, I doubt my sister would bother with a court mage. She sends me to look after Dufort interests in ports across Tamriel, rather than making full use of my arcane skills. A pity.
I don't believe we've met. John Mornard, a pleasure. My family is in shipping. We import goods from the mainland and send wares from the archipelago to markets in Tamriel. You're the investigator working with Lady Arabelle, aren't you? The Duchess explained everything to the court just before you arrived. If Lady Arabelle had consulted us, things would be different. We know what hazards await careless captains making the approach to High Isle. Her ships were simply unprepared. Don't tell me you buy into this Ascendant Order nonsense. A shadowy order of knights working to undermine the governments all across Tamriel? It's a ruse, my friend. A convenient fiction to protect the flawless name of House Dufort. Oh. Alea gained her station by currying favor in High Rock. Then she made a show of backing Lord Bacaro's steadfast society. But ruining the peace talks and getting heads of state killed? Blame must be placed. And she'd never fall on that sword herself. My family ruled the archipelago for generations, but the Duforts were never happy in our shadow. They spent years poisoning the court against us. And when my uncle Avreep quietly supported King Rancer a few years back, it paid off for them. The High King stripped my uncle of the ducal title and gave it to the Duforts. It was an outrage, really. We took no part in Rancer's war. At least the Duforts didn't get everything they wanted. We kept most of our holdings, and it eats at them. Goodness, no. That honor falls to my cousin Leonard, and he can have it. I wouldn't want the responsibility. No, I'm content managing our affairs here on High Isle. I leave the larger concerns of the business and house to my cousin, the Count.
Lord Bacaro has arrived, Duchess. He brought that Lady Arabelle with him.
Welcome to Castle Navir. You're Lady Arabelle's assistant, yes? Then you know these festivities are only for appearances' sake. Our guests of honor have yet to be found. Rest assured, I intend to bring the radicals behind this plot to justice. I'm aware of most things that happen on my isle. It's true we didn't connect reports of mysterious knights to the Ascendant Order until recently, but now that we know they are one and the same, we'll quickly bring them to heel. I suggest that you and Lady Arabelle leave this matter in our hands. My knights have already pinpointed several sites where the Ascendant Order gathers. They are scouring High Isle for our missing guests even as we speak. Which is why I prefer to handle this discreetly. I suspect House Mornard is behind this. They profit greatly from the war, and they still hold a grudge against my house for overshadowing their own. Frankly, I put nothing past them. One should be careful when talking about one's neighbors. Still, Count Mornard's dislike of my family is well known. Years ago, his father backed King Rancer of Shornhelm in his dispute with High King Emmerich. Emmerich did not forget it. He punished Avreep Mornard by stripping him of his ducal title and granting it to my father instead. The Mornards remain counts, with holdings and estates throughout the Isles. But the Duforts are now the dukes of the Sisters. My family builds ships. Our shipyards construct the finest vessels to ply the western seas. In reward for our service, High King Emmerich granted us the Duchy of Sisters. We rule with care and compassion for all, even the Mornards. One should be careful when talking about one's neighbors. Still, Count Mornard.
Might I offer you a refreshment, friend?
The Duchess has many guests to attend to. It would be rude to monopolize her attention. Have some wine. Introduce yourself to some of the other guests. Go on, mingle.
Didn't think I'd miss this little soiree, did you? Listen, I have it on good authority from a very accommodating chambermaid, in fact, that the Duchess has been looking into the Ascendant Order on her own. Well, I've got a plan. Not Jakarn, waiter Fred. I'm in disguise. I told you about the chambermaid, right? She's one of the Duchess's personal assistants. Well, she told me where the Duchess keeps her sensitive documents, among other unmentionable items. Nobles and the upper staff never pay attention to the common help. I easily filched a key from that stuck-up steward Hercian. While I cause a distraction, you go take a look. Duchess Alea has a private study somewhere beyond the northeast door. I'll lure the guards away from the doors, but I'll need your help. Talk to one of the musicians and ask them to play the tune Stagger and Sway. It's an old favorite of mine. I'll take care of the rest.
Something you need, friend? I don't really take requests. Duchess Alea provided a list of approved songs she wanted performed. That one definitely isn't one of them. Not that she would notice. I don't think anyone is really listening to the music. It's good to see that someone appreciates the arts. All right then, you'll have your song.
Lords and ladies of the court, I dedicate this song and dance to the most buxom, curvaceous, voluptuous of all royals, Duchess Alea.
You! Get down from there at once! Stop this nonsense!
storm and fire will bring down the old regime. Lightning and lava will herald in a new age.
No one is beyond our reach. Stand aside and you will find a place in the new regime. Stand against us, and you will be brought to your knees.
Oh good, you're all right. It seems our adversary has decided to send a message to all those in attendance. Submit or die. A classic. Did you uncover anything useful before the Ascendant Magus made his entrance? I see. Clearly Duchess Alea's investigation hasn't gotten very far. Perhaps we can make better use of the leads she's been developing. But we have little time to waste. The Ascendant Magus demonstrated real power. Did you notice how the ground shook when he unleashed his storm? That's not a magic I've seen before. Somehow his storm magic is causing earthquakes. At least he hasn't recovered the Alliance leaders yet. We still have time. Because the Ascendant Magus has made a show of wanting us to fear him. Why would he care if he had what he wanted and couldn't be stopped? No, the royals elude him, somehow. But his magic, I wonder... Among the other problems plaguing High Isle, lava vents have begun to open in random locations. Between the ground shaking and the storms, could the Magus have stirred the volcano? Let's return to my manor so we can study these items more closely. Lord Bacaro, it may not be safe to return to Steadfast Manor.
Nonsense. I refuse to hide from these cretins. I'll double my guard, but they won't drive me from my home.
Very well. I'll check in with you later. Jakan, let's go. And put on a shirt, my dear.